But there aren't too many people that are willing to meet him in the middle of the cage and sling leather. Daryl Denslow was more than happy to meet him there. And that said a lot to me about this guy. This guy's he's a businessman. He wears a 3-piece suit 5 days out of the week, maybe even 6. But then he trains his tail off and gets in here and fights with the Warriors. And it's great to see Daryl Denslow married to former Miss Arizona.
Way to break down Denslow. I mean, that was a great analogy, man, of the guy. So let's see who brings it tonight, man. That's the way the heavyweights are. Anybody can win this. Everybody hits hard.
Yep.
You always look at the small guys. You know, you're like, that guy's good.
Mm-hmm.
But he's 125, 135 pounds. A grown man. A little bit with athleticism.
Yeah.
They look at that guy. I could take him.
I always talk to my buddies about that. I'm like, listen, man, if you bumped into Brandon Moreno at the bar and he stepped on your shoes, you would talk smack in a heartbeat, and then he would choke the life out of you. Daryl Denslow makes his way to the cage. This is for a heavyweight title. And I got to imagine whoever wins this fight is going to wind up fighting Samson Guerrero.
UFC Gym North Tucson, our 7th fight of the evening is a heavyweight title fight. Fighting out of the red corner, Doug the Thug Fisher. And in the blue corner,
And you can see why they call him Superman. This guy's a
Daryl
tank, man.
Yeah, he's
Superman
huge.
Denslow.
But this is something that I always say: muscles mean squat in an MMA fight.
You are absolutely
if
right.
Anything, they could even hinder an MMA
We're gonna have a
athlete.
good, clean, fair fight. Obey my
So
commands
true.
at times, protect
Weights
several
do
times,
not
touch gloves,
translate
now
to
is
the
the
MMA
for me to call you
cage.
out.
Looks can be deceiving in MMA. They certainly can. And so you've got Fisher in the blue trunks, Denslow in the red trunks. Fisher's got 4-1 record. Denslow's 0-1. Right away, Fisher looked to grab the leg of Denslow and tie him up. And now Denslow's throwing big right hands from the clinch.
Yeah.
And Fisher gets him on his back.
I mean, Fisher just looks like the more experienced fighter, and you could tell that he has more experience and just cuts through the guard.
Right into
ease.
half guard. And he's looking to go to side control. Daryl's holding on to that leg.
Yeah,
And
and this is what a novice grappler does do. They just kind of hold on to the head, and it's almost like, how long can I hold on here? What he needs to be doing is shifting his hips.
And it's worth noting the loss that Denslow has was on the ground. It was a rear naked choke. Clinch work here.
Oh, and the Fisher gets dropped. And Denslow on him. Now he has to carry that Denslow weight. He's the bigger man here.
And Denslow takes the back. Fisher's got to be careful here.
Let's see if Fisher, he wants to get his back to the mat here. He wants to get on top of Dunlow's right leg and get his back to the mat. He's turning the wrong way. He needs to be looking at the ceiling, giving up mount, and thinking about getting to half guard as he does.
Fisher trying to hold on to that left hand of Denslow, keeping it from going under the chin, that forearm. Both hooks in for Denslow. His right arm is trapped under Fisher's shoulder.
Yeah, and he has the choke on the wrong side. You want the choke on the bottom side. You want, see, the arm that he has around the neck, he wants the other one. He wants his choke hand going up towards the ceiling here. And not that he couldn't finish it, but the proper way.
Understood.
It looks like he's turning it almost into a neck crank.
Yeah, he's really cranking on that neck. Fisher sits up. Denslow's still on the back here, drags him back.
Yeah, and reaching up and grabbing the feet is not the ideal thing to do, but if he can take a hard left, now what he's doing, getting his back on the mat, take a hard right here, and he could end up on top.
He could wind up on top. Denslow could wind up in the mount, too.
Yeah, he just held his guard. Just
Nicely
using that
done.
athleticism, though.
So powerful. And if Denslow can posture up here, he could do some serious damage.
Yeah, Fisher wants to let go of this body lock because he's just wearing himself out and start pushing on that leg, hipping out, recover half guard. eventually to full guard, hopefully a get up or a sweep.
Denslow could possibly be trying to set up an arm triangle here. Look at that.
Very
Fisher
nice.
just lifts him.
Very nice, but he can't just stay here. He has to keep moving. It's in the transitional phases. There's a lot more movement than I'm used to seeing from the heavyweights. They have been very active throughout the round.
Big strikes from the top by Denslow. Hammer fists.
And just too much weight to carry for Fisher.
And Denslow back into the mount almost. He's just such a powerful dude, Denslow. But you can see both of them really slowing down too. These big guys, you said it, takes a lot to move that body around.
Yeah, let's see if Fisher can get on his hip, really scoot his back towards the cage, and that's where he needs to start working his get up.
And Denslow postures up. This could be bad for Fisher.
Yeah, this is where you just tell the guy, hey, you want to get punched in the face or you want to give me your neck? One or the other is going to happen.
And you know, we talked about earlier, I mean, every strike just so heavy with these heavyweights.
Yeah,
Big
even if
punches.
it doesn't look athletic and like it's coming with speed, that's a heavy, heavy strike coming.
Denslow transitions here. Once again, drags Fisher back.
Yeah, Fisher just losing the scrambling situations. He's getting an opportunity to scramble and really end up on top, and he's just not capitalizing.
And it's worth noting, this is our first pro fight of the night, ladies and gentlemen. These are 5-minute rounds. It's a long time for these big boys to be tussling like this.
A hard left here. A hard left will put Fisher on top. He just needs his short little jerky movements. Short left, short left.
10 seconds left. That's got to be music to their ears because they've expended a lot of energy in this first round. Strong first round for Daryl Denslow. Fisher's wearing it, man.
Yeah, Fisher is wearing it, but Denslow definitely looks like the more tired and fatigued fighter in the corner, I think. So, I mean, really anything can happen coming out here in the second round. Anything can happen in anything going in MMA.
True
you
enough.
Just never know.
That's one of the things I love about it, man. I remember watching, and I know you are familiar with everybody that's watched MMA, Chael Sonnen beating the brakes off of Anderson Silva for 24 minutes. Beating the brakes off of him, and in the last 45 seconds, Anderson Silva won that title fight. Unbelievable things happen in this sport all the time. You can't script it, and you should be surprised by nothing. Big breaths in the corner of Daryl Denslow. His hair is still perfect, George. What is that? You can give Raymond Pena a run for his money for best hair of the night.
And Fisher comes out southpaw.
Wow, Daryl Denslow just exhausted. Physically, just visibly exhausted.
Yeah, I think it would do best for Fisher to break away here, but he gets drugged down to the mat by the bigger guy.
And you got Denslow in side control.
And right when Denslow gives Fisher any space, that's when he needs to go. Right when he raises up for a strike, that's when Fisher needs to buck, get his hips out, and create that scramble.
And here he comes, back to his feet.
Beautiful.
Is Fisher. Drives Denslow into the cage.
Very well done by Fisher. Looks like he might get a takedown himself if he can get his hands together.
Denslow's marching him down, but there's a big right hand by Fisher. There's another left hand.
And Denslow's chin is way up in the air and just prime for that knockout shot. But Fisher needs to throw more volume. There he goes. He needs to put them together like that.
Wow.
This is looking like one of those heavyweight fights.
I'll tell you what, if Fisher could put a combination together, I think he could seal the deal, because the exhaustion on Daryl Denslow is very obvious. Looks like we might have had an inadvertent low blow here.
Well, it's a good breather for both men, so hopefully we'll see some nice action coming right out the gate.
Yeah, and just as we experienced earlier in the last fight, things happen on the fly in this game, ladies and gentlemen, and, you know, no ill intent there on the part of Doug Fisher. Just a weapon planted in the wrong place. So we're going to give him a minute to recover.
4 or 5.
4 or 5. That's how long they get, ladies and gentlemen.
And Dunlow really milking this for all he can. And the crowd letting him have it for it. But nobody knows how a growing shot really feels. You know?
Man.
Some of the most weakest growing shots can hurt very badly, and some
They
of the
certainly
most
can.
hardest growing shots won't hurt at all.
Feels like someone puts a vice grip on your guts. Crowd getting a little restless.
There's probably a couple that aren't so restless.
Very calm. This may give us a little more action when it's all said and done, though. Both fighters getting a chance to take a breath.
Let's see if Dunlow will be able to continue, ladies and gentlemen.
Boy, I hope so. And it's fun, too, because we were talking about earlier, at first glance, you would look at these two fighters and think, hey, Denslow's the better shaped guy. He almost can run away with it. But Mr. Fisher has shown that the experience is definitely playing in his favor. I mean, he's able to weather the storm. And he has touched Denslow quite a few times. I gotta say, man, I'm not a big fan of booing fighters. These guys, you know, may not be the most entertaining thing that that these folks thought they were gonna come see tonight, but these guys have a lot of heart getting in this cage. You gotta tip your hat to them.
Yeah, it's easy to scream from the sidelines.
It really is, man.
You know, it's easy to judge the gladiator when he's in the arena.
And you got Doug Birch making sure everything's good over here. Looks like Mr. Fisher's ready to rock and roll.
But it doesn't look
Denslow
like
doesn't look
Dunlow.
like he's ready. He's in a lot of pain, it looks like. The question's going to have to be asked, are you able to continue by Doug Birch? I mean, at some point, is Denslow going to be able to rebound from this low blow and get back in this fight? They're calling the fight. They are calling the fight, Mr. Roop. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we probably will never know if it was just one of those very, very serious throwing shots or if it was, you know, a heart condition.
Interesting. That's a good way to put it. It's tough, man. It's tough to be out here on the outside looking in. These guys are in there. They have to do it.
It's tough to rise to the occasion.
But I'll tell you what, man. Look what's coming up next. Andy, the Golden Boy Perez versus Anthony Ray. Man, that's another one. That's another one I've really had my eye on. We watched Andy, the Golden Boy Perez, grow up in this cage. And it's been a great journey to watch. And Anthony Ray is a